Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this episode it is going to be, it's going to be about suicide. There's no way of really putting that. And the reason why we're going to be talking about this topic is very, very simple. I get asked this question time and time and time again. And I've put this video off, and it's about time that we just get it out there and get it out in the open. Because at the end of the day, some people are going to enjoy this video, some people aren't going to enjoy it. And to be honest, I couldn't care less anyway. So I think now is the right time to get this video out because there's a lot of people out there who are hurting, who don't understand what's going on. So first of all, let's just back up a minute. We're talking about a very broad spectrum here, suicide. Now, suicide is an act in which somebody will take their life because they don't want to be living in the materialistic world. Now, there are many different factors to that. You could have mental health issues, you could have drug addiction, you could have... I'm not even going to go into them all. Let's be on, this is for grown-ups, this channel, so let's just assume that you all know what this topic is and what it covers. The important thing for each and every one of you to know is whether your loved one has committed suicide or departed the world in a more natural sense, they are still in the energy realm. There is no such thing as heaven and there is no such thing as hell. And there is no such thing as wandering spirits. I hear this all the time. People say, oh, well, this... Joe took his own life. Does that mean that he's not going to get through the pearly gates? First of all, there is no pearly gates. That is just something that mankind have elaborated on and to try and make it magical. Me as a person, I like to demystify it. I like to make it a process so you can all understand. When you pass over, irrespective to how you pass over, you return to energy. Do you have any of the earthly ailments that you had? Of course you don't. The earthly ailments are conditioned within the body and the mind. Therefore, they have no place in the energy realm. So if you are somebody out there, and first of all, if there's anyone who's watching this who you are suffering from mental health and this is something that you've been thinking of, please ask for help. There's plenty of people, there's the Samaritans, there's many of different people that you can talk to for this topic. And if you are somebody who has experienced this and you are struggling with it, understand my words when I say this. Your loved ones are still with you. Yes, they may not be with you in the materialistic sense, but know that their energy hasn't stopped just because they aren't living on this earth plane. You are the one who was suffering, and know that you couldn't have done any more than what you have already done. It's one of the biggest things that Spirit always tell me when and I'm not going into a reading. Spirit are trying to get us to go into a reading because I know this is intended for one of you, but I'm backing up away from that. We're not going to go into a reading here. But what you have to understand is a lot of the time, the spirit world want each and every one of you to know that you couldn't have done any more. And there's going to be a lot of you saying, well, that's very generic. Joe and you don't do generic, so why are you saying this? Because this is a common thread. This is a common theme. Every reading that I've done where a spirit who has passed over through ailments or, maybe they've had some sort of dependency issues with drugs, they always say, let them know that they've done everything they could. And this is one of the biggest things. I understand that a lot of you will probably think this about a loved one. Could you have done more for them? But you have to understand is sometimes in life, people have to do things for themselves. And it doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter the support that you give. If somebody is thinking along the lines of suicide, there is nothing that you can do to stop that. Yes, you can support them and give them, but the thing is you have to understand the onus isn't on you. So don't make it about you. Okay? And I know you're probably thinking, oh my God, yeah. It's not about you. This is about this. This individual could not take any more whilst living this experience. And that's not because they're weak. And before anyone says, oh, it's because they're weak. Listen, it takes a lot of courage to do something like that. I'm not talking about doing it. I'm on about somebody who has physically went out their way to do this. This is an act of cowardness. This is somebody who has been at the bottom of their despair and they couldn't take it anymore. So, because that's another thing that really annoys us is when spirit come through, and I know the person I'm working with and how courageous and strong they are, and you'll have some idiots who wander this earth plane who think that it's just a cheater's way out, it's an easy way out. It's not. It's these people have had no other option. And yes, again, coming back to it, yeah, they might have had family, they might have had people around them who have supported them. But with all due respect, okay, it's their life. It's their life they are living. And you shouldn't feel any guilt towards them taking the actions that they had done because you couldn't have prevented it. So that's a message from Spirit to each and every one of you. So I know it's a little bit more of a difficult topic, but we're getting in. This is the reality of the world that we are living in. When you are doing mediumship, if you are wanting to become a medium, understand that at some point you are going to have spirits coming to you who have passed over, who will want to give messages to their loved ones. It's not your job to decide how you're going to give that information. You will tell that information as it comes through, as this individual needs to hear it. And I can mark my words, I can guarantee you 100%, every reading you do where there has been a suicide involved, the individual will come through and say sorry to the family, to everyone who has been left behind picking up the pieces. Because again, remember, the loved one's now gone, okay? They aren't going through the grieving process. They aren't going through the trials and tribulations of life. They aren't going through the suffering, the pain, the heartache and agony. And whilst there's going to be a lot of you who are going, oh, well, what are you saying? They don't care about me no more. That's not what I'm saying at all, okay? What I am saying is they don't have earthly bodies. They don't need to go through the process like us. They see you suffering and they don't feel your pain. The reason being is because they don't have physical bodies to go through the extrasensory perceptions, which is what each and every one of you have. This is how we feel emotions. The spirit world guide you and usher you unconditional love. Okay, they want what is best for you. Once you pass over to the other side, of course they're still there, and of course they're still watching over you. And I'm not for 1 minute saying that, you know, it's like a cut off. But what I am saying is when they depart this world, that is when you need to start living. This is when you need to start, right, okay, how are you going to move forward? Because so many times, and it's really hard when somebody departs the world, especially in these circumstances. I'm not talking about normal circumstances. I know it's hard for everyone. But in these circumstances, it's more for the individual because you, as somebody who's been in this individual's life, will often think, could you have done more? Stop that. Because it isn't good for you. You've done everything that you possibly could. And even if there's an element of doubt in your mind that you didn't, know that that individual is watching you now and they're proud of the person that you are and everything that you've done to support them. Remember, we can't do everything for everyone. That's not the way that the world works. We have to help people, but then they need to help themselves. And once addictions and all these different things come in, it alters the state of mind. So again, you know, it's one of those things. Sometimes, Spirit asking us to say this, sometimes things will be said by individuals who are ready to take their own life. Sometimes they'll come to peace with it and they'll say things. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll lash out at you before they do it. And that's your lasting memory of them. Understand that that was whilst they were in those moments of fear. They were in those moments preparing mentally. Think about how difficult that is to even comprehend. Never mind do. So yeah, I know that was a little bit of a little bit more serious video, but if you are wanting to become a medium, then you need to prepare for the real world. This is the sort of thing that you deal with, not on a daily basis, but you are going to have spirits who want to come through to communicate with loved ones. And again, you know, say sorry for the way that they left. They're not sorry that they're not there now because they couldn't have been there now. You know this, that it's one of those decisions that gets made, and once it's made, obviously yes, there's no turning back, but it's been made for a reason. That individual had to leave this earth plane. They couldn't endure the suffering no more. And you as a person, you need to honour that. You need to accept that you couldn't have done any more. And now this individual is finally at peace. At peace, yes, they're watching over, but they are now not suffering. And hopefully you'll find some comfort from those words because Spirit asked us to reiterate that. So I know hopefully that's going to help hit the nail on the head with you with that one. Because it's not about you. It's about what they wanted and what they needed. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to leave it there before I go into a reading. I can feel the energy come close. Yeah, so we're going to leave it there now. If you did enjoy this video, remember to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel. And if you did enjoy this video, remember to check out the videos pinned at the top, left and right. Bye-bye for now.